Hello friends, this video is all about the IFI Zen stream. As a disclaimer, this was sent to me at no cost for review. However, it is a loaner and I do have to return it. However, all opinions are my own and no one has reviewed this video prior to posting. This is sold as a network audio transport. This is a dual streamer and it's got a whole bunch of connectivity options to some of the top streaming services, and it supports high-res PCM up to 32-bit, 384 kilohertz, and DSD at 256. As IFI says, just bring your own remote control and you're good to go. The software powering this $399 streamer is based on the Volimio and then optimized by IFI. Now this offers Wi-Fi support 802.11a, b, g, and n, and AC. Has Ethernet connections. That just makes placing the streamer in your hi-fi setup a whole lot easier to do. Let's talk about some of the features of ZenStream. Right? You get support for Tidal Connect, Spotify Connect, AirPlay, it's room ready, offers support for MQA, and the tech inside is pretty impressive as well. You get a 64-bit CPU, USB and SPDIF interfaces, active noise cancellation, and also what they call iPurifier tech for the USB and SPDIF interfaces. An excellent feature of this little streamer is IFI's exclusive mode. So that has settings for all-in-one, and that works pretty much well with all the platforms. And the setting I tested it with was the all-in-one setting. There's DLNA setting to optimize with DLNA apps and devices, network audio adapter exclusive mode, and a setting for room. And finally, there's a Tidal Masters mode. Now, my testing was primarily with Apple Music via AirPlay and Spotify Connect. Qobuz does work, however, through AirPlay, so you're not getting those really high-res files through there. You could use Qobuz through Roon. So what's in the box? Okay, you get a rather short Ethernet cable, a power adapter, a plastic screwdriver for adjusting the exclusive modes. You get the Wi-Fi antenna, which I found it kind of strange that there was neither a coaxial cable or USB to connect to a DAC being included. Also included is a quick start guide, and then you get setup instructions for both Wi-Fi and Ethernet connections, then a warranty card. Now, since my test system is pretty far from my network hub, I decided that I would set everything up and use this in a Wi-Fi environment, right? My Wi-Fi router is within about 10 feet of this unit, so I should have an excellent signal. By the way, one thing I highly recommend is use the IFI Stream app to set this thing up, all right? And I did that, and I multiple attempts, and I just had all kinds of connection problems. Then I realized it dawned on me, this is a review unit. So I went ahead and did a factory reset, and then I was able to connect pretty quickly using the app. Since I'm, like I said, about 10 feet away, I thought I'd get a strong signal, but you can see it by this blue light here. That means that I'm getting a slow Wi-Fi signal, even though I'm very, very close to the router. However, I relocated it, and eventually I got that white light, and the speed was much, much better. So just positioning this, you know, I would recommend really, once you put this in a permanent situation, if you can, hardwire this to your internet connection. Okay, I thought we'd go into the home screen here of the IFI app, and I think this is an area that, you know, could use some improvement. But here you can create playlists. You can look at your music library, say if you have a hard drive, external hard drive connected to this, or a music library that's on your mobile device, etc. Sorted by artists, albums, so forth. Or you can have your media servers. Finally, web radio, if you tap that, it'll give you all kinds of different stations you can choose from, as well as favorite countries, different nations and their radio stations. If you like radio, internet radio, this is a good way to go. Let's get out of there. This is what all the action is here in the settings. If you click on sources, again, my music, your network drives, if you have those attached. You can add new devices to the streamer. Network audio adapter, you can turn these off and on. You can see if it's green, it's active. Just tap that. There we go. And now it's off. Spotify Connect is active. Tidal Connect is active. UP&P renderer is on. AirPlay is active. Rune Ready is on. Everything's on by default. DLNA browser, it's all there. So those were all your controls there. If we go back into settings, then you have your playback options. Tap that. Your language, user interface design. Oh, that's your appearance. Okay, your appearance setting, language and interface, playback options. That's what we wanted. And then you have your various outputs. You can choose coaxial, SPDIF, or USB. And I had USB connected to this. However, it couldn't find it. It just would not work with my USB cable, but it does work, or works for me with the SPDIF. And I tried a couple different USB cables, didn't really seem to help. Your MQA options, if you want pass-through MQA, set to auto, off, or on. Your general playback options, DSD is set to direct, and your mixer type for volume controls, etc. Go back to settings, appearance, network information, so forth. But basically, since I'm using Apple Music, Spotify, Qobuz, just use those apps, and with Spotify and Tidal, you can just use Tidal Connect and you're good to go. And that's pretty much the application. The app is pretty basic, but you are going to need to use this application in order to set up the IFI Zen stream. Okay, looking at the front of the Zen, we have your power button, and then there's a little white LED that comes on when you have power. And then this is your network status light, all right? If it's white, that means you're connected to Wi-Fi, it's very fast. If it's kind of a cyan color, that means you're connected but slow. If you're wired, it will glow green. Yellow means that you have a slow wired connection, and red means no connection whatsoever. And then this is the audio format LED. So green is PCM 44.1, 48, 88.2, and 96 kilohertz. And then yellow is PCM 176, 192, and 352.8 kilohertz. Cyan is DSD 64, 128, and blue is DSD 256. Now, my testing was done mostly with Apple Music at 44.1, as I do not have a Tidal account, and Qobuz uses AirPlay. So finally, next is a small LED for setting up the hotspot, which is used for initial setup, and this is the button that would activate that. Okay, coming along the back, we have where you connect to your antenna, and then for your different performance modes, exclusive modes, whatever you want to call it. Setting number 1 is for all-in-one. Number 2 is for Rune. Number 3 is for Tidal. 4 is for a network audio adapter, and 5 is for DLNA. Next, you get a SPDIF coaxial output. And you'll notice you have 2 USB Type A ports on here. The bottom one is to go to your DAC, and the top one you could plug in an external hard drive, flash drive, etc. Next is a service port. Then you have your Ethernet jack. The small little hole right here is for a factory reset. And then finally, your power supply goes there. And that is the back of the IFI. Okay, to be clear, this is not a Bluetooth device. It doesn't have its own built-in DAC. It's depending that it is a transport, so you need to have an external DAC. The IFI DAC, Zen DAC, would be a great fit with this. Love the design, by the way, of this. Nice metal construction as well. Sound quality, let's talk about that for just a minute. Now, I'm personally really happy with CD quality. And I must say, I combined this with my Skit Modi 3 DAC. You know the word. Using the coaxial SPDIF, I was really satisfied listening to the music. The music I mostly listen to is classic rock, and I spent several days just listening to albums such as Back in Black from AC/DC, Aerosmith's Toys in the Attic, Creedence Clearwater Revival's Chronicle album. But I also have got a demo list of 84 different tracks. Music from James Taylor to Stuart Duncan, Joe Pass, Amos Lee, others, Norah Jones, just a bunch of different tracks. And the Zen stream performed excellently in providing music without complaint. So if you're looking for a full featured streamer, something you can grow into, maybe you don't need a real fancy display on here, look at cover art or what have you, do that on your phone. Because the IFI app, when you've got something playing, will display the cover art on there. This streamer, in my opinion, is going to grow with you. It's an excellent value. And that's pretty much my impression of the Zen stream. So thanks so much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video.